Horford gets by Giannis and throws it down and one. Al Horford, a primal scream. Horford gets by Giannis.
What's up, y'all? Prince Sports here, and we saw Giannis Antetokounmpo get knocked out, and the thing about it is, his offensive game got exposed. Okay, he had two opportunities to close the Boston Celtics out and failed. They were up 3-2. I don't want to hear no excuses about no Chris Middleton. All right, they had two chances. If you win 3 games, what's to stop you from winning 4 games? So I don't want to hear no excuse. The first game, you came out 30 shots with 40-something points, non-effective, then had really no effect on the game. They were just meaningless 40-plus points, all right? And the superstars have their ball in their hands most of the time. And this game 7, I said before game 7 even started, you're going to have the game of your life. You got to drop like 50 on these guys. You failed to do it. All right? If you wanted to be going to the conference finals, you had to be the best player on the floor. And Giannis was not the best player on the floor for the last 2 games. He laid an egg. He came up short. He got exposed. End of story. He had 25 points off 26 shots. 10 for 26 is a choke job. Okay? That's not what I want to see from a game 7 from the so-called best player in basketball. The best player in basketball needs to show up, and the rest of the team would have feed off that energy, and they would have helped you win that game. You had the lead early in this game. All right, your defensive problems and your rebounding problems came up, and that's how you end up losing this game. All right, so no excuses. Salute to the Boston Celtics for getting the job done. Giannis Antetokounmpo got outplayed by Jason Tatum in these last 2 games, and Al Horford was a problem. Nobody could seem to stop Al Horford, okay? And he did his job. So I don't want to hear no excuses with no Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton played, they probably still would have lost because they would have rebounding and defensive issues. So, no, if we had this, we had that. Giannis choked. He came up short. End of conversation. You had a chance to make history. You had a chance to do something and get that 2-peat. And we have been looking at you a little complete differently. Now, your career is still young. You still have a lot of chances to make a comeback and get some more W's and get some more titles. You know, at least it's not an NBA Finals loss, so, you know, your record is still clean. But this is still going to be held on your resume because you had 2 opportunities to close these boys out, and you came up lackluster 2 times. I don't want to hear nothing about that meaningless 40-point-something game because you had a lot of superstars have the ball in their hands, okay? Somebody's going to have to score some amount of points. If you're taking 50 shots and you get 50 or 49 points off 50 shots that I took in the game, it's non-effective, okay? So he left no imprint on these last 2 games. He kind of disappeared. That's on him. His offensive woes came. You need to get back into the lab and work on your offensive game. You know, the dominance is one thing. The offensive game is another. Okay? He just don't get that skill set yet. You know, he took a lot of charges, running into people. You got to get your offensive skill set in print, man. You know, this is what some people were talking about. I don't, you already know who that person is. That's Hoop Facts. Hoop Facts said, if Giannis is the best player in the NBA, we may be in a little bit of trouble because his offensive skill set ain't there yet. You know, you got to know how to close these games out, and you got to learn how to be a great offensive player. If not, the dominance is one thing, but when the team needs you the most, you got to show up. This is just bad. You got 25 points in the closeout game with 26 shots. You know, I give you points for effort, but that's about it. You still should have came up better. You're the best player in the game, right? So we got to hold you to a higher standard. And this was a choke job. Prince Sports out. Peace.